Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of B-Lospective, and today we are reviewing the Suicide Squad, not Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad. This is directed by James Gunn. I'm here with Titanium, who also saw the movie when it first came out, and um,
Yes.
and what we can say is this is definitely miles better than the Ayer version, and and just so people want to know, I don't care for that release the Ayer cut shit. That's going around on Twitter. Um,
I didn't know that was a thing until Stoff mentioned it.
yeah, I did
I was like, people really want that?
yeah, like I didn't even care for like the Snyder cut, and when that came out, I wasn't really also that much into it either. So yeah, I don't care for the Ayer cut, but I think we can say this is definitely better than the first Suicide Squad movie. um, because this is like we could say this is definitely
The
like
first Suicide Squad movie is Poopy Fart Dick.
yeah, like this one is
I
like
don't
James
like it.
James Gunn, who is known for directing the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Uh he makes this funny. He makes this it's pretty. This movie's pretty bananas like all throughout. Like this is the most chaotic like superhero film that you can probably that we probably seen in a while. Um, because yeah, there's like a lot to unpack here. So we're just gonna go through it, spoiler filled, um, and yeah, we're gonna see how we're gonna just share our thoughts and about this movie because yeah, there's a lot here. Um,
It's per good.
yeah. So so it starts off with introducing us with half of the characters who are pretty much there to die. Um, except for Harley
A
Quinn and
distraction,
yeah,
yes.
besides Harley Quinn and Rick Flag, because obviously those two are part of the main story. So just right off the bat, if you're expecting anything from TDK, Weasel, Blackguard, Javelin, Captain Boomerang, Savant, or Mongol, um, yeah, they're not in this for that long. They're just killed off
Don't.
like that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much they were called in by Waller. And here's the thing: it starts off with like Savant, played by Michael Rooker, who plays Yondu in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. He has a cool scene where he's just like bouncing a ball off the wall, and he has like taped marks, and he hits every single one of them. He even kills a bird, um, because he has apparently perfect aim. Um, and yeah, it just introduces a lot of these characters, and it gives you like a 180, thinking they're gonna be a big part of this story, but no, they're just like throwaway characters. um Captain Boomerang was the one that surprised me because I he's like a big part of this. He's like one of the more known villains out of this group, aside from Harley and probably Rick Flag. And he's cut off like that, which surprised me because I was hoping to see like more of him. Um, like he wasn't bad in the first one, but yeah, like I said, I was hoping to see him like be in like a more better movie because we really got like the only one appearance from the Ayer version of Suicide Squad. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, but yeah, hopefully I hope there's like another way to like bring Boomerang back, but I don't know, we'll see. So
Put him in a Flash movie, maybe,
maybe.
if that happens.
So yeah, that first team gets killed off. We get a couple of cool moments from them. TD like the detachable
The
kid, like
detachable kid.
yeah, he like takes off, he like removes his arms and it just slaps a lot of people. Um, Weasel just dies by drowning, or I guess I shouldn't say like dies because
I
he
I
comes back.
predicted that he would die in 5 minutes, and
Yeah,
I was kind of right.
yeah. And Blackguard gets shot in the face because he like sold the squad out, or at least this one side of it. Um, Javelin gets also killed, but when he dies, he gives his like javelin to Harley. For some purpose, I forgot what it was specifically. Um, Mongol uh takes down a helicopter by herself, but when it crashes, it lands on her and she burns alive. And
Boomerang goes out in a blaze of glory.
yeah, and who else? Savant. He just looks at all the shit. And he's like, "Fuck this," and just runs away, making Waller like explode the nano explosive in his head, and he dies too. So
Yeah, Waller is a very good villain in this movie. And yeah, you heard me right. I said villain. She is the villain, if anybody.
yeah, Waller. I never really get like her motivations, like behind like forming the Suicide Squad, like have this group of villains take down another dangerous threat. But they
Makes sense in this movie, considering what they uncover. It definitely makes sense.
yeah. So yeah, this first team, this side of the Suicide Squad gets killed off only as like a distraction for like the real team that's focused throughout the whole movie. Aside from Rick Flag and Harley, who survived from the like other side, because of course Harley was gonna survive because it's Harley.
Yeah.
Um, so this side consisted of Polka-dot Man, King Shark, Peacemaker, Ratcatcher 2, and I believe Bloodsport.
Bloodsport.
Yes. So then flashes back to them forming the team. They talk to Bloodsport, who talks to his daughter for a little bit, and she's saying how she's embarrassed to have Bloodsport as a father. And then Bloodsport finds out that Waller is using her as like blackmail to have him be on the team, because she has this like loophole thing where she can arrest her daughter and put her in prison, not juvie, like a full on prison.
She'd get killed. She'd get shivved.
Yeah. So yeah.
Like.
So yeah, we meet the rest of the team. We meet Peacemaker, played by John Cena, who
steals the show.
Yeah, who a lot of people may know him from wrestling days, but he started doing acting like recently, like a few years ago.
He's been acting for a while. This is like the first. These past roles have been like the first big ones, like Bumblebee and this one.
Yeah,
like the first big roles, because the other ones were like Playing with Fire, The Marine, 12 Rounds. Those are like, yeah, those are. Ugh. And I guess Fast and the Furious is another good one he had recently.
I guess, yeah. But yeah, and let's just say our opinions of the characters. I thought Bloodsport was a good character. I thought he was cool. I didn't know much about the character, but after seeing this movie, I was definitely he's definitely a good. I generally like this character.
I liked him. He's cool.
Yeah.
Although I couldn't help but be like, was he supposed to be Deadshot? But they like.
Yeah, he kind of felt like a replacement Deadshot. I don't know what the thing is because Deadshot is usually always in the Suicide Squad. I don't know. Maybe it's a thing with Will Smith, or I don't know.
Like, this is a sequel. Like, maybe they'll bring him back some other time.
I guess. But as for Peacemaker, played by John Cena, I thought he was awesome. He had some funny moments. He had some cool moments. And yeah, he was also a good character, even though I didn't know much about him beforehand as well. And that's the thing. While the last Suicide Squad movie had a decent amount of characters that you probably know, like, Killer Croc, Captain Boomerang, and stuff like that, this one focuses more on, like, more obscure characters, like, that you probably don't know much about for at least half of them.
And it actually tells you their stories and whatnot instead of just expecting you to know who they are. Just being lazy.
Yeah. And so next we're introduced to King Shark, my fucking favorite character of the whole film. And he is voiced by one of the greatest action stars that I love, Sylvester Stallone.
My personal favorite action star, probably. I love Stallone.
Yeah, King Shark definitely steals the scene, steals every scene that he's in, because
book read.
Yeah, he's like reading a book, but it's upside down. And this is the thing,
he's trying to be smart.
Yeah, this is the thing. James Gunn tried. I didn't think it was I mentioned this before, but I didn't think it was possible to make a shark cute, but
I
somehow
agree.
James Gunn did it. Because I loved King Shark throughout this whole film. I liked King Shark before because I knew who the character was, but um, like he isn't usually like like this big dumb character. He's usually like a brute, kind of like he's like Killer Croc, but he's a shark. But
he's the Flash's Killer Croc.
Yeah, but the
because
direction,
a lot of Flash villains are just this Batman villain but different.
Yeah, yeah, but in this direction, James Gunn decided to make him dumb. But honestly, with that, like it's one thing to make him dumb, but to have him also be voiced by Stallone, with his like cadence of like how he voices stuff, it's honestly like really, it makes him such a lovable character. Yeah. And I believe next we're introduced to Polka-dot Man, I think.
No, Ratcatcher was next. I'm pretty sure.
Ratcatcher 2 to be
Ratcatcher
specific.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I've heard of the original Ratcatcher before, but I only saw him like a little profile thing in like Batman Arkham Asylum, and that's all my knowledge of him. Like his name is, I believe, Otis Flanagan, but I looked it up. I never seen anything of like this Cleo person. But despite that, I thought she was also a really well developed character. I thought her backstory was pretty nice. I thought she gave a good performance.
Samson the Rat.
I thought it was Sebastian.
Like is it Sebastian?
I think
Probably.
It's Sebastian. Yeah.
I love his little backpack.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of like Ratatouille, Remy from Ratatouille.
Like, yeah, they even call him that.
Yeah. So yeah, I like Ratcatcher in this. And next, I think after is Polka-dot Man, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, we see Polka-dot Man, and we see some other villains, including Calendar Man, who makes a little quick cameo. And he's like,
and licking the glass.
Oh yeah, we see Weasel licking the glass as well. So yeah, these inmates with Calendar Man in them make fun of Polka-dot Man because how can you take like a man called Polka-dot Man like serious? But it's like Polka-dot Man, while he isn't as much developed as some of the other characters, I feel like he's developed enough to where I also liked him because I have heard of Polka-dot Man before from like Batman the Brave and the Bold. And I thought like the concept of him was pretty ridiculous because he was made like he like throws polka dots, but the way they made him, it actually makes it pretty cool. It's like the same thing I felt with like Ant-Man, like with a name like Ant-Man, and with his powers, it's like it's pretty basic or even ridiculous, but they made him like in the movies they made him like pretty more cool than they made him cool, and that's the same thing that I felt with like Polka-dot Man because he has these like gadgets where he can just like shoot out polka dots and they pretty much melt. They melt holes into whatever.
I didn't know they did that. Like, does the comic version do that? I didn't know I just thought he threw them in there like portals. I didn't know he shot them and they just phased things out of existence.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really researched on Polka-dot Man as well as like a lot of these like obscure characters, but I don't know. I don't even know if like this like virus thing that he has in them where he has to extract them twice every day, where he has to extract the polka dots or else he'll pretty much die from it. Because his backstory, he says like his mom experimented on him and his siblings so they could become superheroes, but this just ended up giving him like this polka dot interdimensional virus, which how he got this polka dot power in the first place.
Parts with his mom are weird.
Yeah. Who is the actress who plays his mom, by the way? She looked familiar.
I don't know.
Like, she looked familiar. I don't know who she is.
I just love freaking, you know who that is? Who?
Your mom.
That's your mother.
Yeah.
It's just a giant woman.
Yeah. So yeah, we
King
got
Shark tries to eat people.
yeah. So we got this team. Amanda Waller is giving a demonstration on the rundown on this mission, on these this I forgot what it is, but it's like some
Foreign country.
it's some uh I think it's a South American like country. I forgot what the name was, but uh they have a thing in this tower called Jotunheim, called Project Starfish, and this introduces the villain of Starro the Conqueror, and now, which is this movie's villain. And Starro is a pretty well known, I say a pretty well known villain in the
wasn't he like the
DC
first
universe.
Justice League villain? I think he was.
Maybe, I don't remember.
He's pretty cool though, all things considered.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that Starro was the main villain for this movie. But,
Same.
But
he kind of gets a sad thing at the end too. Like I feel bad for him.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But we also got like other villains. There's like these two military guys that you don't really give that much of a shit about, because it's just basic.
I mean, the movie doesn't really either. They're kind of just there and gone.
And we also have someone named the Thinker who was in charge of this Project Starfish.
Played by the Doctor.
Yeah. I thought the Thinker was all right, but I say like Starro was like the main
Yeah, I think
attraction.
Thinker had funny moments.
Yeah,
Like whenever Ratcatcher's
moments.
just like, "How would you feel having rats crawl up your butt?" And he's like, "I think the answer would be obvious."
Yeah.
Like Capaldi's just great. I love Capaldi.
Mm-hmm. So Waller gives the rundown, and there's this little joke where Ratcatcher points to like a little old projector, and she's like, "What is that?" She's like, she like, "Do you even use that anymore?" And Waller's like, "No." She's like, "Why don't you just throw it out?" He's like, and that's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, I remember those things. I'm like, God damn it, I'm old. And,
Yeah, I do too. They were in my class too.
Yeah. So there's also some funny moments. But like Peacemaker makes the butthole joke that a starfish is a slang term for butthole, and of course,
Any correlation?
Yeah, yeah, and of course, King Shark has the iconic hand moment.
Yes, that is your hand.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. Like he
yeah,
shakes his
yeah.
hand,
He makes
yes.
a gesture where he like nods. He's like, yeah, I did good. Yeah. They run down the whole mission, and then now we're back to present time. So Harley gets like captured by like this military at this island. And meanwhile, and also Rick Flag gets captured by this resistance called I believe the Freedom Fighters is what they're called, led by
because of course they are, right?
yeah, led by this person called Soria, which I believe is her name. She doesn't get that much screen time, but I thought she was all right for what she was. And so the squad camps out for the night, and in the middle of it, Polka-dot. Well, first off, Polka-dot Man has to extract his polka dots, so because his face is getting like puffed up from like all the polka dots. So,
And King Shark tries to eat Ratcatcher.
yeah, and Ratcatcher is apparently a heavy sleeper.
Very heavy. Like, good God.
Yeah. So Bloodsport like shoots Shark, so he doesn't eat Ratcatcher. And there's this like little nice bonding moment between Ratcatcher and Shark, where Ratcatcher's like, "Would you eat your friends?" And Shark is like, "I have no friends." And when he said that, I was like, "Aw." Like,
Yeah, I know. I felt bad.
Like, I'm feeling bad for a shark. How does this happen?
I don't know.
Yeah. So and then Ratcatcher's like, "If we were your friends, would you eat us?" And Bloodsport's like, he's like, "Yes, he would." So Shark just looks at him and looks back at Ratcatcher. He's like, "No." And also I want to say, like, while this is happening, John Cena is just in the scene wearing tidy whities.
Tidy whities.
And you can see the bulge of his dick.
You know, with Tidy Whities, that's racist.
Yeah, that's racist. I was like, what?
Yeah, I'm like, you're telling this to the black dude? Come
on. And here's the thing I want to say. Is this movie rated R, or was this movie rated?
Yes, it is.
Okay, because they
drop the F-bombs so much.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of swearing, there's a lot of gore, there's a lot of
it earned its R rating.
There's a lot of dangling dicks, there's a lot of bouncing titties. Yeah, definitely rated R. So yeah, the next morning comes and they head in, ambush what they think is the villain's like military base.
This is one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Yeah, it's mine. Yeah, I like this scene too.
Peacemaker and Bloodsport trying to one up each other.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a dick measuring contest on who can make the most creative kill. And there are pretty creative kills between the two of them.
I love, like, whenever he shoots that guy and Bloodsport's like, not lethal, you lose. He's like, compression explosive bullets, and then the guy explodes. Yeah. He's like, it's not good to show off. He's like, unless it's really sweet. And he's like, crap. Yeah, he's right.
He's right. We also get like a kill from King Shark where he just eats people, where he just eats one guy.
Nom nom.
And yeah, nom nom. And Polka-dot Man shoots polka dots at this like tower thing, and he knocks it down with two soldiers on it, and they crash down. And Peacemaker's like, oh, dude shoots polka dots. He's like, and while they go into this like little tent thing, they find out this wasn't a military hideout. This was like the freedom fighter, like a freedom fighters like station. And they find out they accidentally killed like a lot of like soldiers.
That's hilarious though. Just no, what was it like? Just why didn't any of my men signal you? And it's like, we didn't see anybody. No, we didn't see anybody. Polka-dot Man just blurts it out. Like, I imagine them as my mom, and I killed them. Yeah. And then King Shark just pukes up like a shoe. Yeah,
he coughs up like a finger with a ring on it. Yeah. So yeah.
I love the way he came in though. Just his head, just.
Yeah, he's just popping in. Yeah. So yeah. So we meet Solsaria, the leader of the freedom fighters, and them and the squad. They just brush out the fact that they just like killed a good chunk of a good chunk of their members, but
I mean, what are you gonna do to the giant shark man?
Like in their defense, they didn't know because they weren't really informed.
Just like an American shooting first. I'm just like, what else were they supposed to do?
Yeah,
walk up to you.
So yeah, we then cut to the Thinker talking with like the leader of this villain organization.
Who looks like David Tennant from certain angles. I was like, wait, that's not David Tennant. Especially Kinda standing next to Capaldi, I was like confused.
Yeah. Thinker is like seeing footage of how Starro came to Earth. He was apparently just orbiting like around Earth's atmosphere, and the space shuttle just happened to come across it, and these Americans, like, of course, they take it in and just take selfies with it. But apparently the military is just hiding the fact that Starro they're hiding the fact that the American military are the ones behind Project Starfish like the whole time. Which comes into play like later on, which makes up for like a very suspenseful scene. So that happens, and we then transition to Harley Quinn being like all dolled up. She's like in a dress and getting her makeup done, and she's visiting. She's a
princess.
Yeah, she's a princess, and she's visiting one of the brothers. I believe his name was Mateo.
David Tennant look-alike.
Yeah, and there's this whole sequence of like Harley falling for this man, because once she meets him, he's like coming out of the bathtub with like glistening like skin, and Harley is like, oh, He's like, and yeah, they have this like montage of them being like all romantic and stuff.
And then they has.
Yeah, and then they bone, and as Mateo was like explaining his like whole like plan, and the moment he says like he's gonna like kill Children along with it, that's when Harley like shoots him and killing him. Which I saw coming, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dude was gonna die.
Yeah. But yeah, Harley kills Mateo, and the security comes in and like arrests her or whatever. And then we come back to the squad, and Ratcatcher and Polka-dot Man are being tired. And this King Shark moment that I also love. Uh, he's like, I carry friend. He's like,
oh
yeah.
That was cute though.
Yeah, and then we talk about like Polka-dot Man discusses his like condition, like if about this like it was like about this virus, and he can't help but he has this thing where he doesn't like to kill people, but if they pretend that they're his mom, then it's easier for him to do it.
Which is at first, like whenever Cena called him Norman Bates, I was just like, oh god.
Yeah, and there's this like shot of like his mom just being like the face on every character of this like
that
squad.
Was funny.
Yeah,
but creeped me out. I was like, why does your mom look like Grimace?
Yeah.
Like in terms of body type, like good lord.
Yeah, and like in the background you could see King Shark like seeing a bird. It was like, ooh, he's like trying to grab it. So it cuts to later middle of the night, and this is where where they meet their bus driver, Milton, who was kind of like, he kind of had a thing where he was kind of like Deadpool, Peter from Deadpool 2.
He was like Dupender.
Yeah.
I was thinking that, and
yeah,
they have like a whole thing about that later.
Yeah. So they have Milton, and Solsario is like talking about the whole plan where they had to like go in undercover, but King Shark has to like stay in the bus, and King Shark has this like big where he's like, I can wear disguise. And Ratcatcher,
fake mustache.
Yeah, he's like, I wear fake mustache. He's like, and Bloodsport and Peacemaker are just like,
worst fake mustache.
He's like, yeah, that's not gonna work, pal. And King Shark's just like,
worst
fuck!
mustache I've ever seen.
Yeah, and King Shark's like, fuck! He's like having a tantrum in the background.
I'm sad how angry he got. I feel bad. He tried.
Yeah. So yeah, they ride off to like this like little club, and while they're going in, apparently their communications between them and Amanda Waller are being like jammed. So and afterwards, we also get a bit of backstory from Ratcatcher 2. She talks about his father, played by Taiki Waititi.
That's where he was.
Yeah.
He saw his name and I was like, where is he? There he was.
Yeah. So Taika Waititi is people probably know him as like Korg from like the Marvel movies, who here he plays Ratcatcher's father, and he showed her how he controls the rats and all that. But apparently
kind of sad.
Yeah, it's a pretty sad backstory.
I've never cared for Ratcatcher before this, but I really liked his portrayal in this.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty good, but apparently he died because I believe, what was it? Like he spent so much time with the rats that he got like disease from it or something like that.
I think so. Yeah. She said like his burdens like caught up with him. Okay. And I'm assuming that's what she meant.
Okay.
Because rats.
Mm-hmm. So the squad goes into this like kind of like strip club thing. They have like a drink. They have drinks and they start dancing. Meanwhile, it cuts to King Shark where he's just like bobbing his head to the music in the bus.
Poor guy.
Yeah, like he's too obvious.
Seriously.
He's too obvious to be like, he can be easily picked out from the crowd. But I felt bad. She's like, he's just sitting there all like, he's like,
He just can't do nothing, and Milton's just sitting outside.
Yeah.
Like Milton didn't even bother to stay with King Shark. Come on, man.
Yeah. So along the line, Thinker finally walks in, which is what they've been waiting for. Um, but they didn't expect like the military to come in because they're also fighting for like the Americans. Um,
Yeah.
so Polka-dot Man and Ratcatcher take Thinker out the back, and Bloodsport, Peacemaker, and Rick Flag are like, "Hey, we're the Americans you want," so they can like distract them from noticing Thinker being like taken out. Um,
Yeah.
and then we go to like where Peacemaker, Bloodsport, and Flag are in like this heavy armored car, and they escape. And it's a pretty fun action sequence. They knock out the guards, and Peacemaker's trying his best to to steer them like steadily.
Don't die, don't die, don't die.
Yeah. They tumble off the road, but luckily they survive because, of course. Um,
Yeah.
and then we cut to Operation Save Harley. So we cut to Harley being like hung, like dangling. She's being tortured because like they're trying to get like information out of her.
Being zapped.
Yeah, she's being
Good
tased.
Lord.
Yeah, she's being tased like a million times. But of course, being Harley, she's not gonna like confess anything. And once the main guy like goes out of the room, Harley like pretty much chokes the other guy with her legs. Um, grabs the keys with her feet, and she frees herself.
Resourceful.
Yeah. There's a lot of foot fetish material in this movie when you really think about it. Because yeah, Harley's always like barefoot in this movie. She does get like boots eventually, but still.
I do love the boots. I think the boots are great.
Yeah. I also didn't mention this. I appreciated that they have like a classic Harley suit for once, like in the beginning with the red and black.
Yeah, she looked like Injustice Harley,
Yeah.
kind of, because of the tights.
Yeah, and I appreciate it
I
because
really liked it.
because personally, I'm not really into like what's the I don't know
Sexy
what
Harley? Like, trying to be?
yeah, kind of like the stereotypical
Yeah.
popular girl in high school, like kind of thing.
I
you
never
know?
liked that either. I thought she was better, she was more attractive when she wasn't trying to be.
Yeah, so I appreciate James Gunn for throwing in like the classic like red and black kind of style, like classic style.
Yeah, look good.
So yeah, Harley makes her like escape, like grabbing guns and just shooting down a lot of people, like Rambo style.
It was a long sequence.
Yeah.
It was like a 7-minute sequence,
Yeah,
but I enjoyed every minute.
Yeah, I definitely love the sequence, and there's like this thing where like the blood is like replaced with flowers, and yeah, there's like a lot of like crazy edits with this movie as well, which kind of gives it its own like charm. So Harley escapes, and she realizes that Flag and the others were trying to get her out, but apparently they don't need to do that anymore. And it was like this little thing is like, and like Peacemaker's like, I have eyes on the target, and
He says the only person in the building. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, yeah, because everyone else is dead.
yeah, Polka-dot's man, I don't see any upcoming traffic, and King Shark's like, bird. Like I couldn't like. Here's the thing. After that one trailer, I could not stop saying bird like King Shark every time.
After he said it, I was just like, yay!
Yeah. So yeah, Harley reunites with the squad, and they arrive at Jotunheim, where they're talking with Thinker, where they're like, if you ever like betray us or whatever, then you're dead. So yeah, they go to Jotunheim and then mow down like the soldiers that are there. They head inside and lower down like the security door, thanks to like Thinker like putting in like the codes and all that. And they decide to plant like sticky bombs around the whole tower. And there's like this one little sequence where King Shark makes a little clay figure of like Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
Yeah.
That is nice.
He's like, that's very nice. Just put it on the wall there.
It looks nothing like me.
Yeah.
I love that.
So yeah, they plan to stick bombs on that specific area, but King Shark is somehow left behind. He
wanders off.
He's like admiring his work. He's like, and then he turns around. And is like, where'd everyone go?
Yeah, and then he just wanders off again, like he's a 5-year-old that like no one put a leash on or something.
It's like, yeah, he looked like when you were like a little kid and you lost your mom in like Walmart or some shit.
Oh, that makes him even sadder.
So yeah.
God, this movie made me love King Shark.
I definitely love King Shark in this movie. So yeah.
Like outside of the Harley Quinn show in our incarnation, this might be my favorite version of him.
So we head to a lower level where Project Starfish is being held. Rick Flag, Ratcatcher, I believe, and not Peacemaker.
Oh, the Thinker.
Yeah, the Thinker. Those three are like they like see all these like Starro control people, and they're talking. And this is the thing in the comics, whenever Starro puts one of these mini Starros onto people's faces, he controls them, and he can make them talk for him because Starro can't really like talk for himself.
And he gets bigger.
Yeah, that's it.
Because he absorbs their consciousness, and it just gives him more power, basically.
Right.
That's why it's called the Conqueror.
So yeah, Starro was apparently trapped in here for like I believe 30 years. He says.
A long time.
Yeah, and meanwhile they've been experimenting, studying like Starro and like his like mind control victim and it's like how they work.
Sounds like torturing him as well. Like he was not happy.
Yeah. And this is where it is revealed that the American government was behind Project Starfish all along. So obviously Rick Flag, who was part of the American military, he feels betrayed. So he finds like this like, you know, like floppy disk thing of like the footage from the experimentations on like, you know, Starro and like all the victims of it. And Peacemaker comes in, and they notice like, and
he wants that drive.
Yeah, because Peacemaker has like this thing like he doesn't really get like the morals of like good or bad. As long as you can convince him that it's for liberty or some shit like that, he'll definitely do anything for
this is America.
Reason. Yeah.
Oh, I get it.
So
someone put 1,000 dicks on this beach and they said I'd eat every dick in the name of liberty, I'd say no problem.
Yeah. So we have this little scuttle between Flag and Peacemaker, because you know Peacemaker thinks that this footage shouldn't be revealed, but Flag says otherwise. So and meanwhile the bombs apparently explode too early, which we will explain in a few seconds. But yeah, we have this like little fight between Peacemaker and Flag. A pretty cool action sequence, but yeah, it's a pretty cool fight. But in the end,
I love the way the beginning of the fight going off of like Peacemaker's helmet. That was sick.
Yeah, at first I didn't get it. Like, why is he looking at his helmet? But he's like, oh, he sees like the floppy disk, like the drive. And yeah, then they have this fight, and it ends with shockingly Peacemaker killing Rick Flag.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah, I was shocked to see Flag die.
Yeah.
I say he had a worthy death because I definitely admired him here more than the original version.
Yeah, he like fought his heart out.
Yeah, like back then he like in the original he all he had was like he just had this like love thing for like Enchantress or whatever, but somehow it just didn't work.
Meh.
But here he's actually like well developed. He actually gives like some character and stuff like that. But yeah, it was definitely a shock to see him die because he's usually like a main thing for a squad. And I feel like you could see in like Peacemaker's eyes that he feels like he has some form of regret.
Yeah, I mean, he was speaking very highly of Rick.
Yeah.
He didn't want to do it, but he feels in his mind it is the only way.
Mm-hmm. And
yeah,
and apparently Ratcatcher saw the whole thing saw like his death happen. And so she grabs the drive and tries to escape, but Peacemaker catches up and she like pins her down to like the ground and aims his gun. But then and then we like rewind back to see like Shark, Harley, Bloodsport, and Polka-dot Man and Milton sticking bombs on like higher levels. There's this little sequence where King Shark finds an aquarium with like these little. I don't even know if they're.
I don't know what they are.
I don't even know if they're real fish. Like
all I know is they are leeches.
Yeah, apparently he like sees like the whole like they're like showing the form of like his like body shape, and Shark is like. Well, in the trailer he's like new friends, but in the movie he's like new dumb friends. he's like, and he's like running around all cute. He's like,
he's just having fun.
Yeah, he's making friends. So yeah, Harley, Polka-dot Man, Bloodsport, and Milton are in this place with a lot of cubicles. And apparently Milton gets shot down, and there's this little sequence where Harley is like, "Who the hell's Milton?"
I'll be real, I forgot he was there.
Yeah, I did for a second as well.
With them, I forgot. And then Harley being like, "Who's Milton?" You can't be too mad at her because she wasn't even there.
Yeah, she never really met Milton. Yeah.
Yeah, she probably never even spoke to the guy.
Yeah. So Polka-dot Man sees like more soldiers coming up, so he fires like polka dots at them, but he accidentally triggers like one of the bombs, which they accidentally dropped on the floor, because of the last guys.
Oops.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how that explosion happened.
And then King Shark's friends and him.
Yeah, they start biting him.
Man, that made me sad. I was like, come on.
Yeah. So Bloodsport, Harley, Polka-dot Man, and Shark are getting flooded out, and King Shark falls out of the building, and he
falls hard.
Yeah,
I was like, are they gonna kill him off? Like, because the next scene you'll see it. Yeah, say it like.
Yeah, he's fine at first, but then there's like military guys like out there, and they shoot King Shark, and he's like hiding like a little ball. I'm like, stop! Don't harm the shark.
Yeah, I was. Like, I never cared for Groot. I love King Shark.
Yeah,
I think King Shark is Groot, but done better because he can say more than one freaking word.
Yeah.
He doesn't get annoying really quick. Also, I was like, okay, bullets aren't going to kill him. We've seen bullets do nothing. I thought the fall maybe made it to where they would kill him. Like, he'd be weakened and like someone would come up and just shoot him in the eye or something, but no.
Yeah.
King Shark gets mad.
Yeah, he takes a lot of damage he takes a lot of damage in this movie, and I don't know, does he have like regeneration powers, or?
I'm not sure. It seems like he's just tough as nails because he's a shark.
Okay, because I don't know if he has regeneration in the comics, so.
I don't even know if sharks are bulletproof. I'd assume maybe a few of them. We'd have to have stuff here.
Like maybe they can take like a good amount until like.
They'd have to be able to like take a beating.
Yeah. So yeah, when they stop shooting, King Shark gets up and he's angry and just eats like one of the guys there.
That was awesome.
Somehow he was still alive as a head because his eyes kept moving. But
nom.
Yeah.
Also, just him getting mad. That was like, it was just basically King Shark has had enough. This movie's thrown him around. He's tired of it.
Yeah. So, meanwhile, Bloodsport, Harley, and Polka-dot Man, they survived the whole being washed out of the building, but Bloodsport kind of falls because he tries to like grapple onto something, but it just like doesn't hang out for too long. And I
was scared. I thought he was going to fall. I thought he was going to die next.
He
had a lot of fake outs at the end.
Oh, definitely. Like, so Bloodsport falls. He lands on his feet. Surprisingly, he's like still intact. But the floor keeps on like breaking down down every floor. Yeah, and then he ends up. Yeah, and then he ends up on the first floor. He makes a superhero landing, and he sees Peacemaker about to shoot Ratcatcher.
Who he did say earlier in the movie reminded him of his daughter. So
yeah, that is true.
I could probably expect he went a little brolic.
Yeah. So
And they had a really cool callback to the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, they have this little
Like,
shootout moment.
I loved it.
Yeah, they have a little shootout. They both fire, and while Peacemaker had the bigger bullet, Bloodsport, smaller bullet penetrated through the bullet and shot Peacemaker in the neck.
I've never seen that happen with bullets. I've seen people do that with arrows constantly, but I've never seen a bullet like pierce and break another one and then shoot the guy.
Yeah, I think that's a first for me too.
I've seen it with arrows.
Yeah,
it's like a first, unless I'm sure it's been done somewhere, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, none that I can recall. But yeah,
and like that's also like I said, a callback to the beginning where they're like, oh, he does everything I do. Oh, I shoot better. He's like, I shoot to the center. I have smaller bullets. And then the smaller bullets.
Yep. So Peacemaker, well, for now we think he dies, but we'll get to that later on. But which surprised me at first, like I said.
Yeah, were you also like, what the heck? They killed John Cena?
Yeah, but so
don't worry, y'all.
Yeah, Ratcatcher tells Bloodsport about the drive, how the Americans were behind Project Starfish and all that. And the rest of the squad joins up. King Shark comes in, munching on the head. He's like, "Hey, everybody!"
Just like waving. I thought it was a foot. Was it a head?
No, it was the guy's head. He was like chewing on.
Oh God!
Yeah.
He's just nibbling on it the entire time, dude. Just
yeah.
Just when Starro comes out, he just that's scary.
Yeah. So like the what's left of the squad gathers, and Starro escapes. He releases his like mind controlling like little Starros like, and he like attaches them to all the soldiers that are out there, and the squad covers their faces. Ratcatcher has their own mask, and King Shark
the rat.
and for King Shark, apparently his face is just too big for a Starro to attach to him.
I love that. Yeah, I love that they were just flopping on him and then falling off.
Yeah. So the squad successfully avoids getting like mind controlled by Starro, and Waller orders them to like retreat and to.
This part's awesome. Yeah. This is my favorite part of the movie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. For anyone who watched the original movie and hated that scene where Waller was like, "Oh, I'm right," and they never correct her even though she's completely wrong, this is the best scene in the movie.
Yeah. So Waller orders the remainder of the squad to fall back because she wants to do something else, because I don't know what
basically like the government, like the U.S. won't care. If anything, they'll see this as an improvement, and Starro probably just will stay there or leave the planet and leave us alone.
Yeah, and then Bloodsport gets finally he's like nah, fuck this, and he like turns back, and soon Ratcatcher and Harley, Polka-dot Man, and King Shark join up with him.
That was awesome.
Yeah, King Shark is like, "Where you going, friends?" He's like,
"Oh yeah," he literally like he just went because his friends went. That was so cute.
Yeah, that's sweet. So yeah, Waller's like warning them. He's like, "God damn it, like turn around," and like, but then she gets knocked out by one of her employees, and that was the most satisfying thing I could see. For Waller.
I thought she was going to do it. Yeah, I legit thought they were going to have her blow his head off. I was fully convinced he was, because I thought he was going to die already. I assumed Bloodsport was made to die, and they were just going to bring Deadshot back if they made another one.
Yeah.
Which at this point they might, because this one I think is doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Freaking just nope. And that lady, I don't even think they said her name more than once, maybe. MVP.
Oh yeah, definitely MVP. Like that was like Waller being knocked out. That was like the most satisfying thing out of the whole movie, because
she's like, horrible.
Yeah, she got what she deserved, because fuck that bitch.
No one likes Waller.
Yeah,
I can't think of a person on the planet who likes her.
Yeah, like,
she has no redeeming qualities.
Yeah, like no matter what iterations, Waller is always a bitch.
Fat, skinny, doesn't matter.
Yeah. So the squad goes with their own plan to kill Starro. So Bloodsport, he like has like a lot of attachments to his gun, which is a pretty cool like sequence where he's just adding like more and more shit. And he like
I love that his chess piece. I love that his chest piece was like he'd pull off a piece of it and it was its own weapon, and then he'd put it together.
Yeah, so
it'd just be more devastating.
Yeah,
sick.
Yeah, so he shoots Starro, but it doesn't really do anything because this is a big like motherfucker.
There's a kaiju up in here.
Yeah, yeah, that's a line. So Bloodsport is like, Harley, take the high ground, and so she goes up on the roof, and he tells King Shark, Nanawe, monster is Nom Nom.
Nom?
Yes.
And then he just leaps.
Yeah, he just like jumps
bounces
onto
off like some car.
Yeah, on some rubble. He bounces off some rubble and starts biting down on Starro.
Oh, that's so good.
But obviously, Starro's too big for Nanawe to eat, so he's just like getting like little pieces.
He just gets thrown.
Yeah, he just gets thrown. Which worried me for a little.
At least he's out of the way.
Yeah,
I was just glad he was out of the way. I didn't think he died there.
Yeah.
Because like if that fall didn't kill him, I don't think anything will.
Yeah. So and then he tells Polka-dot Man, "Hey Polka-dot, hey Polka-dot." He's like, "What? Guess who that is? Huh? It's your mom." And then he looks at Starro, and it's just like her mom just going on a rampage, like as a giant.
I got it. This next scene made me so sad.
Oh yeah, and so
I thought we were safe, but then
Polka-dot Man shoots like his polka dots at Starro's leg. It disintegrates, and apparently the mind-controlled Starros can also feel it. Like they feel what he feels. But
which makes sense, because it's mind control, all that jazz.
And Polka-dot Man gets all excited. He's like, "I'm a superhero! Yo, Bloodsport, I'm a superhero!" Then he gets crushed.
He gets the King Kong treatment, where it's like King Kong ain't got, and then just squish.
Yeah, and then it gets crushed, which also surprised.
So sad.
Yeah, that surprised me, and yeah, it was sad. But at least he had some moments before going out.
Yeah, I've never cared for Polka-dot Man, but this movie made me care for Polka-dot Man, and that's an achievement in my opinion. I never saw him as any more than just Marvel's, like, I always saw him as like the equivalent of the Spot from Marvel, and I was like, this is just a dumb villain. Yeah, no, I love him after this. He's kind of awesome.
Yeah, it's like what I've been saying, like this movie gets like really like obscure characters, some that are like pretty ridiculous in concept, like you can't like say like Polka-dot Man and take him like seriously, but somehow James Gunn actually made him a well-developed character, and actually made him a good character. Yeah, and that's what I've been saying before. So yeah, Polka-dot Man went out like a champ. He had some cool moments. Rest in peace to that guy. So then Bloodsport is getting surrounded by these like zombified mind controlled people. So he's pretty much just like he doesn't really like, he's a villain, so he's just like, fuck it, I'm gonna just shoot all these motherfuckers down until I'm outnumbered or whatever. And that's when Ratcatcher comes in and calls in
just Squirrel Girl with rats.
Yeah, she uses her little wand thing which summons the rats, and comes in like this whole city's like population of rats, which is like probably like in the millions. Because like goddamn, that's a lot of rats. Like
she's like, the city is theirs, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's a lot of rats.
You're right.
So yeah. Meanwhile, while Starro's being like swarmed and being swarmed by rats, Harley is on this roof, and she jumps up in the air and sticks the javelin through Starro's eyeball, and she just like goes through it, and she's just like swimming in like eyeball juice. And when that happened, I was
that was.
Yeah, it was nasty, because like when you, like the thing with like eyeballs, it's like when something like when something like stabs through an eyeball in like a TV show or movie, I'm like, eh.
Yeah, and his looked like a freaking water balloon.
Yeah. So and then the rats climb up to his eyeball, and they go through the little slit that Harley goes through, and they bite like the inside, like the blood vessels, like inside the eyes, like
chewing on his nerves or something. Just
Yeah, even like I could feel myself like my eye like twitching. So I was like, eh. It was like, stop.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah.
And then Starro makes me feel bad for him one last time.
Yeah, he has this last line. I forgot what the line was. Like, what did he say?
He says, He said I was doing just fine, enjoying myself, just staring at the stars. He's like, I was happy, just enjoying, like, just orbiting space. I was happy.
Yeah.
He's just, like, basically, we took him away from his home.
Yeah.
And we kind of asked for it.
So,
which is sad.
Yeah.
It really is.
But yeah, Starro was a good villain. And I thought he was portrayed pretty well. So yeah, Starro dies and the squad wins. And the freedom fighters take control of like their little like country on the like and of this little part of the country because the military guys are pretty much dead. And Bloodsport makes a deal with Waller. He says he's like, hey, I got the drive that reveals all the footage that the Americans were up to Project Starfish all along. Unless you let us go, I'll leak all this to the public. So, so yeah, Waller lets all the squad go, and they fly off into a little helicopter. And there's this little moment where Sebastian the rat catcher's like little pet climbs onto Bloodsport's leg.
He sleeps like a dog.
Yeah, he sleeps. And here's we didn't mention this, but apparently Bloodsport had a rat phobia because when he was little, when he didn't do something right, he would get locked in a cellar where there were like a lot of rats there. So
starving at 24 hours.
Yeah.
I couldn't deal with that.
So yeah, and in the end, he finally warms up and he finally like pets Sebastian. And that's where the movie ends. And there are 2 after credit scenes. Well, one begins one begins immediately after like the whole after the logo shows up. We cut to like the island from the beginning, and we see Weasel, and he coughs up water, and apparently he's alive.
He just runs off.
Yeah, he like runs really weird. Like he runs off in the distance. So yeah, so I guess we're
big bug eyes.
Yeah, so I guess we're seeing more of Weasel whenever that comes. And when you sit through the whole credits, we find out that Peacemaker is in treatment, being healed up. And I forgot about this. I heard some news that they were in development of a Peacemaker like HBO series.
Cool.
So yeah, I guess
they want to rival Marvel's Disney Plus stuff right now.
I think so, yeah.
At least try to make their own thing out of it. That'd be neat.
Yeah, so hooray, we're getting like more of Peacemaker, John Cena's Peacemaker. And I guess this is gonna lead up to some revenge thing because Bloodsport killed him. So I guess we're also getting more of Idris Elba as Bloodsport as well. But yeah, and that's the whole movie. So yeah, this movie was definitely like I
loved it.
Yeah, I definitely loved this movie. This was probably like the wildest, most chaotic superhero movie that I've seen in a while.
Yeah, probably.
Because James
Since
Gunn,
like what, Deadpool?
Maybe, I don't know. But James Gunn like holds like nothing back. He just like goes all out with like how much fun he can put into this.
Since it's R-rated, he got to be really mean.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Like we've seen what he can do with superhero movies like Guardians of the Galaxy, and he did those movies pretty well. And so with this, there being like no restrictions, with the rating being R and all, he definitely had more to work with. And overall, I think he did really good, and he does like far superior than what David Ayer did with the original Suicide Squad movie. So yeah, those are our thoughts. What do you want to say? What are your like overall like thoughts on it?
I just loved it. Honestly, I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, but this makes the original like worse by comparison. just because now we know what we could have gotten. Like, God, I never liked the first one, but now I dislike it even more.
Yeah.
Like, just freaking King Shark and Peacemaker steal the show, but everyone else is also great.
Yeah, from the trailers, I was already sold with King Shark going hand, and that was already.
And Bird.
He's like, Stallone's the shark. You got my ticket.
Yeah. I'm there.
I want to mention this. Going through the credits, it credits Sebastian the Rat, and for some reason, the actor was Jaws.
Crisp. No, I also saw one where it said Crisp Rat.
Crisp Rat. But yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So yeah, this is just like a really fun movie, and for people saying release the Ayer cut, I don't even want to see that shit anymore because this.
I'm fine with this new universe.
Yeah, I doubt this quote unquote Ayer cut is gonna be any better than this version, because if it's gonna be like if it's gonna be like as long as like Snyder's Justice League cut, then I definitely don't. I can barely sit like through the original cut, which was like what 2 hours or something like that.
Also, if it's anything like the Snyder cut, it's only going to make the movie slightly better.
Yeah. So yeah, we definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely recommend this to people who are interested because it's really fun.
Yes.
It's really action packed and gory. It has a lot of funny moments and there's a lot of cool moments. If I had to say anything bad about it, is I guess I would say like two things. One would be, I wish, like I said, I was kind of disappointed like for some of the characters at the beginning, because I kind of wish we had more like, you know, development for them, because like, you know, Captain Boomerang, for example, because he's like a big part of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, my favorite character died in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I still loved the movie. I tell you how much I liked it.
Yeah, that was my like one of my criticisms is like I wish we got like more of like some of the characters at the beginning, like Captain Boomerang, and I kind of wanted to see more Weasel, but I guess we are gonna see more of him eventually.
Hopefully.
Yeah. But another criticism I want to say is like, I feel like the pacing was kind of a bit weird in some places. Like it kind of goes, like it got better, like it finally like settled, like I guess like during the second half, but I say like somehow like during the first half it was kind of going like a bit like, you know, too fast for me.
All over the place.
Yeah. But
especially with all the time jumps, it could be kind of hard to keep up.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, those are really all my negatives about it. I don't know if you have any negatives about it.
I'm spent.
Okay, so yeah, those were my negatives, but they weren't really too much to ruin the movie for me, because I still love the movie in the end. But
personally, I think everyone did their Harley Quinn battles too early. They should have waited till this came out.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing. Because this is like the third time Margot Robbie played Harley Quinn.
Yeah, and I think she's gotten better at it.
Yeah, I feel like so far this is her best performance as Harley.
Yeah. I don't even count Birds of Prey because I didn't watch it. And I'm pretty sure she was probably like the shining light in a dumpster fire.
Well, I didn't like Birds of Prey. It honestly wasn't even like a Birds of Prey movie. It was more like a Harley Quinn movie, if anything.
Would you say she was the better part of it, or is it all bleh?
Honestly, all of that movie is just like really bad. So it kind of like tainted like my interest for Harley Quinn, because that was around the time where Harley was getting really like exploited, like with all this stuff.
It was like the Deadpool cartoon, freaking like
yeah.
God.
Yeah, all this over exploitation, but yeah, with this movie they don't really focus on her like too much. Like she has her own like standalone like scenes, but it wasn't like she didn't like take up like, she wasn't like the main focus of the film. And the originals, like, she was okay, but this one I say this is definitely her best like performance overall as like Harley Quinn.
Also, no Joker.
Jared
That's a
Leto
positive
Joker.
in this movie.
Jared Leto's Joker specifically.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I don't know what the fuck that version was. Um, so yeah, I don't know if James Gunn has more ideas planned for this Suicide Squad. I don't know if there's gonna be much more members because what are we down to like 6 members now?
4 or 5. I think there's like 4.
Well, let's
This
say
is Ratcatcher, Bloodsport, Harley, and Shark.
Well, we also got like Peacemaker and Weasel in the end.
Well, I don't know if freaking Peacemaker is going to come. Actually, the other guys aren't going to come back. Peacemaker will be fine though. Weasel, I don't know what he's going to do. He just does his own thing now, I guess. Probably going to eat more children.
He's going to have his like own.
He'll have his own movie.
His own like Ice Age like Scrat short series.
He looks like Scrat because his eyes bulging out.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, those were our thoughts on the movie. We thought it was really fun. We definitely recommend it. If James Gunn has more ideas planned for this like Suicide Squad series, then I'm totally down for it. And yeah, we'll go into final ratings. So, Cam, you want to start us off?
I'm never really good with this, but I guess like 9. I really liked it. I don't think it's a perfect 10, but I really loved it.
I'm gonna give it like, because here's the thing, like I took it like I've seen this like last night, so I had like some time to like really think about it, because with the first one, once I got out of the theater, I liked it, but after giving it some time to think about it, I was like, this movie isn't really that good, so it's just like hype myself up for like no reason. So with this movie, I gave myself time to like really think about it, and overall, I still like really enjoy it. So overall, putting my negatives like with the whole like the pacing issue in the beginning, and some of the characters, with how much screen time I got in the beginning. I think I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. So yeah, I feel like this is like a really good movie, a good R-rated movie, because we don't have that though much of those like superhero movies nowadays, aside from like Deadpool and all.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are our thoughts. We definitely recommend this to anyone who is interested in watching it. And yeah, we hope to see more from like this specific series from this universe. Because like I'm pretty sure like the DCEU is pretty much like gone. Like there's no like continuity anymore after Justice League. So
Dead and buried.
Yeah. So yeah, we're yeah, we love this movie. We're definitely like interested in some of the some of the future DC movies, like what was it, Black Adam?
Shazam.
Yeah, we got
Black Adam, which is gonna Black Adam movie's gonna have my favorite superhero in it, and I'm so excited to see how it goes because he's being played by Pierce Brosnan of James Bond fame.
Yeah, we're excited for like Black Adam, Shazam, Fury of Gods. There's also some other things, but I can't remember. I know there's a Flash movie, which I'm kind of like 50-50 on.
Are they keeping the actor from Justice League?
I think so, because I think so because there's like some footage, there's some photos on Ben Affleck being on set of the Flash movie. So I guess that is. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Maybe they'll make him better. But yeah, those are our thoughts on. So. Yeah, so those are our thoughts on the Suicide Squad. We definitely recommend it. So yeah, thanks for watching this episode of B-Lospective. Thanks Cam for joining me, and
anytime.
And yeah, hope got some amazing stuff on the channel coming soon. Some of the rap battles are coming along the way, and
I'm in some.
Yeah, and yeah, we'll see you all soon. Bird.